here, like scope management, schedule management, cost management, and we'll introduce you to the agile as well. And towards the end, if there are certain questions, and if we have time, we'll also answer some questions, but not before we give you the 3 tips. So, to introduce myself, I'm a chemical engineer, MBA finance. I used to work a lot. And if we have time, very hard earlier. We'll also first 10 years I really worked very hard in shifts, earning very little money. Then, by the way, I'm also an amateur poet. But once upon a time, it so happened, I started seeing some of the people progressing very fast in their career. So I came to know about different certifications. PMP was one of them. Lean Six Sigma was one of them. And I gained those certifications. And I had to invest a lot of money. And it involved some travel also. Those days, not everywhere you will get all these types of certifications. So I got those certifications. Today, after gaining some professional certifications, as I said before, you have consulted for more than 500 organizations worldwide, which includes a lot of Fortune 100 companies, and train more than 150,000 people worldwide. It should be, I think, 175,000 now, because 150,000, this number is, I have not changed in the slide for the last 2 years. And we have definitely added 20,000 professionals more. Why I'm telling you all these things? Because you can also achieve this as much more. We have, as an organization, we have been enabling individuals and organizations to achieve excellence since 2006. Quite some time we have been around. And personal touch is our USP, means we're not like you join us and I hire one person working professional person from some company. We conduct some sessions for you and he vanishes after that. So no, we're not like that. We are there with you. People who have undergone training from me in the last 20 years, I've been conducting trainings almost on 22 years. They're still in touch with me. And if you face any difficulty at any point of time, you can connect with us. We have, of course, a strong team of 25 people who are behind us. So we have got around 7 or 8 trainers. I'm the PMP trainer and I'm the Lean and Six Sigma trainer as well. And I also take modules in artificial intelligence, data science, etc. I take pride in telling you that I was the first person to conduct a Lean Six Sigma black belt training in anywhere in whole Gulf in 2007. This one is the photograph from that batch. Incidentally, it was for a hospital. Then simultaneously, engineering company Technip, Aramco, ADNOC, we did lots of improvement projects. And they have been our clients and around the world, Europe, primarily in Europe, Middle East, India and Australia, we have done a lot of work. Even in US also, this is a US training picture. So just to prove that, you are in safe hands, you're talking to an expert who have been into project management for quite some time, won some awards, and I've got many videos to prove my credentials, but I'll not spend too much time. Of course, appear on some TV shows, etc., and spoken in various conferences, PMI conferences, ASQ conferences, etc. Okay, now please answer this question. What will you see happening during project execution if there is no project manager? Now, first, let me tell you, even if there is no project manager, still you can do a project. Still, project can be accomplished. Yeah. So, what do you see happening during a project if there is no project? Now, if you've not understood the question, it's too you are just hearing project management for the first time, I'll introduce you to the basic definition of a project also. Project is a one-time endeavor, okay, which has a starting point and end point. It doesn't exist after some time. It is dead after some time, and that is a project. So building a Taj Mahal was a project. Building pyramids was a project. Climbing the Mount Everest was a project. Yeah. Sending the man on the moon, Apollo mission was a project. Yeah. So what will you see? And give wrong answers, don't worry. I want to hear from you. What will you see if there is no project manager? I think comments are enabled, right? Okay, so किरण आज आस्किंग क्वालिटी इंजीनियर पीएमपी कर सकते हैं क्या? बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं सर, बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं. Yes, all people can do project management because everyone gets involved in projects. So project will delay. Vasif is telling, Jamal is telling no control. Yes, very good. Missing the deadlines, as we see Rohit is telling. See, making a movie is a project, right? Now, it can happen that few actors come together, they join with a script writer, background music scorer, and maybe a cameraman, and they can still make a movie. Why not? They can make a movie without a director. They can still make a movie without a director, but you know what kind of movie it would be. So you got the answer. Project manager, like, you know, project manager of the let's say expedition to the Mount Everest. He did not climb the Mount Everest, but he made Mr. Hillary and Tenzing Sherpa to climb the. I mean, he assisted. He managed the whole project, right? No one knows the name of the project manager of that expedition. No one knows the project manager's name of Apollo mission. Who's set the first foot on the moon? Everyone knows his name, but no one knows the project manager's name. So that's what happens. Project manager gets all the money, right? He doesn't get any name. Okay, I'm just joking. He gets a name also. So let us look at let us introduce you to the basic definition of a project. First of all, I hope my voice is clear. Yeah. Let me talk about a very simple yet commonly asked question. What is a project? Let's see how a project can be defined. In simple words, a project is a series of tasks that need to be completed in order to achieve a specific result. A project is a temporary, unique, and progressive attempt made to produce some kind of a tangible or intangible output. The output could be a product or a service. Let's look at what are the characteristics of a project. A project has a clear start and end date. A project has boundaries. A project creates something new and unique. And a project is not the same as a process because process is repetitive and project is one-time endeavor. A project can be big, for example, constructing a building or a road. A project can be small, for example, planning a weekend trip. Well, that is also a project. A project can involve many people or it can involve just one person.
Most popular approaches a project can follow during execution are predictive, agile, and of course, there can be one more type, that is the hybrid of both predictive and agile. Predictive approach is followed for projects where we need to plan everything in detail in the beginning. For example, constructing a bridge or constructing a building or a petroleum refinery. In these kinds of projects, we have to spend adequate time in detailed planning, and the plan is executed over the life cycle of the project. Changes are difficult to make. For example, we cannot change the direction of the bridge somewhere midway during the execution of that project. Agile approach is followed where you can't plan everything in detail, and when you are executing a project where the requirements of the customer are not fixed at the initial stages and might change over the period of time. For example, if you are constructing a website, then all the requirements of the customer are not clear in the beginning. Though the value the customer is going to derive from the project is clear, the requirements will keep evolving over the period of time. Such projects need many iterations before we get the finished product. And then we have hybrid approach. It is used in projects where a mix of both predictive and agile approaches are applied. This was a brief explanation of what a project is and what are the most popular approaches followed during project execution. For more information on project management, subscribe to my channel and get videos every week. Happy learning!
Happy learning! Thanks for taking out time to watch this video. To learn
about our other videos, link is in the description below. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and have a great day. For more information, you can write to us on
inquiry@anexas.net.
So I hope you understood what is project. One-time activity, one-time endeavor. Now, when you embark upon any project, there are three main constraints, also known as iron triangle, traditionally, something made of iron, difficult to change. One is scope. Scope means what needs to be accomplished in the project. All the work which needs to be completed in that project is the scope. Then schedule, the time, schedule, right? Schedule means you should complete within a time period. And the budget. These three are the main constraints. Scope, budget, and schedule. Apart from that, the best way to learn is to keep the things simple. Usually, as a PMP is a very tough job, or to say tough exam to crack. You must have heard. Of course, becoming a PMP is going to make your career, I think, much better than what it is today. It's a very prestigious certification issued by PMI. Those who are not aware of, I'm just telling you. And also, one of the requirements of getting a PMP certificate is that you should get a training from a PMI accredited institute. And we, of course, are a PMI accredited institute. In fact, for the last 10 years, we have been accredited, and we conduct the training as per the directions of PMI. So you get your PDUs, which are required. The 35 PDUs hours are required. The 35 hours of training is required before you can appear for the PMP examination. And we are authorized to give that PDUs to you. Now, we have been conducting the training program for quite some time. And earlier, even before, I would say, when I was doing my MBA in 92 in Jamnalal Bajaj, that time, when we had a project management topic, one subject called project management. And this triangle used to be on the first page of the first chapters. But as I progressed in my career, and when I appeared for a PMP examination, three more constraints were added to that. And what were the three more constraints? One, apart from the time, cost, and scope, we also saw resources, risk, and quality. So you should complete all the work. The scope means all the work to be completed in the project. within the time, within the particular budget, within the limited resources. Now the resources, the people and the equipment which you will be allocated as you are awarded the project is not unlimited, it is limited. So you have to complete the project within these limited resources. Resources mean people and equipment. Not only that, you have to also foresee the risks. What are the possible risks which may be there, which are likely to happen, may not happen, but which are likely to happen. So be prepared for those risks. You should be able to foresee them, and you should have a response strategy towards that risk. So those risks. So this, along with maintaining the high quality of the product which is desired by your customer as an end result when the project is delivered to them, these are the three additional constraints. Now you have to balance, you have to manage as a project manager. So I was telling that, for the last so many years, we've been conducting training programs, and our success rate is very high. One of the reasons is we keep the thing simple. And I can impress you with my lot of experience. I can start giving in that refinery when I was working. I worked with many refineries, oil refineries, then many engineering EPC companies I have, construction companies I have consulted, and a lot of hospitals I have constructed, did lots and lots of projects, thousands of projects. I have got a good repository of projects with me. I can keep on telling my stories and keeping impressing you with all those stories, but the intention of our PMP training is not to impress you with my accomplishments. The intention is to make you a PMP. You should be able to pass the project management examination. And to pass the project management examinations, all the concepts should be understood with simple example. So what we do in our training program, we do two projects simultaneously. We imagine as if we are a project team, and we are doing a project. And what are these two projects? One is we are constructing a 5-star hotel, because everyone knows what is a 5-star hotel. At least you have seen one. If you have not stayed in one, at least you have seen one. You know the concept of a 5-star hotel. At least you must have taken lunch or dinner there. And another project is, because now we have to learn two approaches. One is predictive approach and one is adaptive approach. Predictive approach is that project where we plan everything in detail, like constructing a bridge or constructing a road, or like constructing a 5-star hotel. Everything needs to be planned in the beginning, and we have to execute that plan. That becomes predictive approach. And another approach is adaptive. Adaptive means we don't know exactly what kind of things we'll be doing in the next 6 months, but we know what value we are going to bring into the customer. We know the value. Like, for example, constructing the website for this 5-star hotel. That would be an IT project. Now we know that that website will contain, some pages. It will have a login ID and password. It will be enabling the guests to log in, create a password, then select a hotel room, or select the dates, make a payment, and leave a feedback. And also, if they want to upload some photographs, they can upload their photographs. This is what is expected as a deliverable from this website project, or constructing a website project. In case of a 5-star hotel, in the beginning, in the first 2 to 3 months, I can spend good time in planning, and I will know exactly how many rooms will be there, what will be the dimensions of the room, what will be the, in fact, height of the table and the chair, which will be furnishing the rooms with. We know each and every exact detail, great detail, what will be the length of the swimming pool, what will be the width of the swimming pool, what size tiles we'll be using in the swimming pool, what color we'll be using, what will be the specification. Everything is very, very clear. We can plan in advance, but not in case of website construction. There we cannot plan. We know what the website will be capable of doing. So we know the value, and we start with the value, and then we build our work around it. And we are Also adaptive. Adaptive in the sense we can keep listening to the customer. Customer will keep on adding their requirements as the project progresses, and we'll keep listening and we'll keep adding that. But in predictive approach, after the plan is formalized, we not make too many changes. And I can't, my customer will say, well, I did not like this room. Can you change the direction of the room? This door is not, this direction of the door I did not like. Can you make it here? You can't make too many changes. The third floor, which I had designed this way, can it go on the 7th floor, and 7th floor can come on the 2nd floor? It's not possible in a predictive approach. But in our construction of website, yes, it is very much possible. But in all the cases, these constraints are there. See, these constraints are common, both adaptive and predictive approaches. The constraints are common. You have got time, you have scope, cost, risk, resources, and quality. I hope you are with me. And one more thing, don't forget one more thing. Customer satisfaction also has been added here. Customer satisfaction. So along with cost, time, scope, resources, risk, and quality, you have customer satisfaction. Customer also should be happy. Yeah. Earlier, maybe I think 7-8 years ago, we used to teach in PMP sessions that if you have managed your project within the time, within the cost, within the scope, within the given resources, by taking care of the risks as well, you are 100% quality, very good, great project you have delivered. Even the customer is not happy. Even the customer says, well, yeah, good, I've seen your 5-star hotel. It's as per this, but I'm not happy. But we could say that you told us to build 200 rooms of 20 floors within this area with this dimension of swimming pool, and we have delivered exactly what the customer told us in the beginning. Even the customer is unhappy, but still we would say the project is a great success. But not anymore, unfortunately, especially with the introduction of agile or adaptive approach. You have to make the customer should also say, yes, I am happy. Now, how will it happen? You have to consistently, continuously engage the customer during the whole project. So customer should be also satisfied. So as a project manager, you have to achieve all these things. You should be like a Superman. Yes. And typically, every project will have basic 3 phases. Initial phase, intermediate phase, and final phase. Typically, all projects have got that. But the phases or the stages, they depend on the project. So a construction project may have phases like, government approval, designing, then planning, then maybe designing, then laying the foundation, then constructing the building, the basic structure of the building, then furnishing, and maybe if our project also includes the recruitment of the employees of that 5-star hotel, even that could be the last phase, recruiting the manpower for the hotel to run, because maybe your project also includes that hotel should be functioning when you hand it over to the customer. So these will be the phases. So every project has a life cycle. We told you, project is a one-time endeavor. It is dead after some time, but it is alive for some time, isn't it? It is alive during these 2 years when we are constructing our hotel. Our project is live for 2 years. It's a life of 2 years. Yeah. So we call it as a life cycle. And life cycle can be divided into basic 3 phases, but there would be many, like 5-6 phases, depending on what kind of project. Like human beings have phases of life: childhood, teenager, adult, and then people like with wide beard, and then very old. We have got different phases. Similarly, project has got also different phases. And they have different stakeholders too. Stakeholders are the people who are positively or negatively impacted by the project. So obviously, project manager is one of the key stakeholders, and the customer and the user, or the user could be a key stakeholder. Customer and user could be different sometimes. Like, for example, if a billionaire, multi-billionaire is given us a project to construct a five-star hotel in Dubai, let's imagine Elon Musk, after entering into Twitter, he has got a lot of things to do, but still, he also wants to enter into the tourism industry, or he wants to enter into the five-star hotel industry. So he has given us this project. So he would be our customer, but the user could be, user of the hotel would be, maybe he's handing over to, let's say, Sheraton or Marriott Hotel, or whichever, some hotel group. So that could be the user, or the people who are going to stay in that hotel, they could be the user. So they are all our stakeholders, plus the performing organization, the organization which is actually executing the project. Like, let's imagine all of us are executing this project. So that means that we become a performing organization. Project team members, our team members, all the construction workers, our managers, everyone will be project team members, and the project management team will be the managers in the team, which is managing the whole workforce. Sponsor is the person who arranges the financial resources. Influencers are anyone who can directly or indirectly influence our project positively or negatively. And PMO, project managers management office, is the back office for the for our organization which is executing this project. Primarily, the PMO may exist or may not exist. Typically, the organizations which are into multiple projects, they would have a PMO, which will keep all the templates to be used during the project execution, which will keep track of all the people, the staff members who are able to, who could be allocated to different projects, depending on the requirements. So these are all some examples of project stakeholders. And influence of the stakeholders are very high in the initial stages, especially in the predictive approach. But it reduces influence in the sense, I can change my color of the building in the initial stages, but it's very difficult to do that towards the as the project progresses. It's very difficult to make, or the cost of changes will become obviously high. So it's difficult to influence of stakeholders on the project reduces as the project progresses. So typically, now these are the old phases. I'll just we'll talk about predictive approach first. Let me talk about predictive approach. There are two approaches. I hope you understood predictive and adaptive. Predictive means where I can plan everything in detail. Yeah. And let me show you the different, the lessons which we learn. So today I'll be very, very quickly taking you through some of the topics. Today's objective of the session is to give you an overview of project management and also tell you how a project is executed. See, first thing, you should know the business environment. See, now taking example of, let's say, our five-star hotel project. Elon Musk has given us the project, isn't it? We have been allocated by his company. They must have studied the feasibility of this project beforehand. They must be knowing what are the benefits of constructing a five-star hotel and, of course, constructing the website for that five-star hotel. They must be. They're not fools, isn't it? They've done their due diligence, they've cost benefit analysis, etc. They've done everything. I should be aware of it. As a project manager, I should be aware of it. Why? Because if I know the benefits which the customer is going to derive from the project, I will be able to deliver a better value to the customer. If I know the mind of my customer, I will be able to do a better job. When I execute my project, I will be able to do a better job. And then once that is done, here I can use different types of analysis, like you can use pestle analysis. I will not be going into the details of pestle analysis today. Maybe randomly I'll take some tools so that you go through the whole journey. Maybe I'll pick up one tool from lesson 1, one tool from lesson 2, 3-4 tools from planning the project, lesson 4, and maybe one tool from let's say leading the team. But in general, if you think of your 5-star hotel example, and that's what I said, see, always take a simple example which you stick with it throughout the training. So once I have understood the business environment, then you start the project. Then you build a team. You build a team. You make some ground rules from the team. Make a team charter. Make a team charter. Team charter. Team undergoes 5 stages: forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. So whenever you are embarking on a project and when you are forming a team, when forming means, A, B, C, D, E, F, Mr. A, B, C, D, E, F, you are in one team. But team doesn't start performing immediately. They don't start. Tuckman's ladder, we call it a Tuckman's ladder. Team doesn't start performing immediately. After forming comes storming. And there are storms in the minds of the people. Why am I there in the team? How can I impact the project? How can I show the world who am I? Storm. A little bit of ego issues are there. There might be a little bit of conflicts. People are trying to understand their roles. They're confused sometimes. Clarity is a little less. Storming. Then comes norming. Clarity happens. People accept each other. And after that comes performing. Okay. So there are 5 stages: forming, storming, norming, then performing, and then finally adjourn. Adjourning, sometimes we say mourning. Oh, we are mourning. Mourning. We're not feeling happy that, oh, project is over now, we'll not be able to see each other. And you will be working, see, multiple teams will be there. Team which is laying the foundation of your project, of your hotel could be one team. Team which is the designing team could be one team. So you have different phases in a project. There are different phases in a project. Designing, let's say this is designing, this is foundation laying, this is constructing, this is furnishing, one more is recruiting. So when we are talking about these stages of the 5 stages of team formation, as a project manager, you should be aware of it. So then only you will be able to manage your team better. Otherwise, you will feel frustrated. I got the best of the best people together and they don't listen to each other. Within 10 days, you find the project team is like people are having conflicts and then you'll feel frustrated. No, you have to understand that team undergoes these stages. Yep. Then comes, so I have written down a team charter. Team, when there is a conflict, we'll listen to this, or we'll refer to this rule, or we'll take a poll, or we will take a voting, whatever. There are different ways of, making decisions. Write in the team charter how we are going to make our decisions. And these ground rules should be mentioned in the team charter. And then comes one more charter, which is project charter. Now in project charter, you have to tell everyone. You have to tell everyone all the stakeholders, of course, your team members, project team members, customers, what is expected from the project at a very high level. Please remember, at a very high level, not into the detail, very high level. Project charter. Typically, a project charter will look like this. Now, it is not a standard format for writing a project charter. Let me tell you that. But typically, it looks something like this. It has got a title. Yeah. It has got a project start date. It has got a project finish date. It has got a project manager, the details. It has got the project objectives. What is the objective of a project? What does the project, what we intend to do? What will be the end result of the project? It doesn't contain the work to be done during the project. It just tells you what will be the object. It tells you what will be the budget and what could be the approach, some suggested approaches, or even also you can mention some of the stakeholders, who would be the key stakeholders of your project. So this is a typical format for a project chart. Any questions? Up to here you are with me? Yeah, we are recording the video. Vasif is asking, are we recording the video? Of course, we are recording the video. If you attend the session in full, yeah, which I expect you to do, then only you will get your 2 PTUs if you are coming here only to get the PTUs. Or then only you will get, in fact, if you want to have a even certificate for that, you can still get that. Then only after you attend the full session. Yeah, so this video is recorded and it will be given to you. It's actually it's live on, I'm not sure where. My team sometimes put me live in Facebook, sometimes YouTube, somewhere, I don't know. My team can tell where I'm live today. Okay, but all the recordings are there and you'll be able to get those recordings. Not only these, in my previous training programs also, all the recordings, just subscribe to Anexas Europe channel. So don't worry. I hope you got it, right? Thank you. Mohammed is asking, is PMP highly recommended for managers only? No, PMP is recommended for anyone who has got more than 3 years of experience. Anyone, at least 3 years of experience is required. Anyone, any professional. Okay. Rafi is telling, good evening from UAE. Okay. Thank you. Good evening. Okay, great. So now we have created a project charter. Now, once we have created a project charter, after that we develop a scope statement. Okay. We develop a scope statement. Let me refer to one document. Now, it is very, very I'll request my team. Next time I'll remove the numbers. Please ignore the numbers. My team can remind me next time I can remove the numbers because the numbers used to be those in the previous PMBOK edition, the chapters, but they are no longer true anymore. These numbers don't have any meaning. Please remember. So here, first, we write all the work, we develop the scope, right? So we have developed our charter, right? Then we collect all the requirements. We collect all the requirements. So first we have understood the environment. I'll write it down here. Business environment we have understood, right? Then after that, I have written a project charter and also a team charter as well. As a team, how we are going to work. And we have also identified the stakeholders. Identified the stakeholders. Who are our stakeholders? We should make a list of our stakeholders. So we create a stakeholders list so that I can manage them effectively. Who are the important persons? Who are the people who are getting influenced by. So I should know who's person who's supporting me, who's a person who's looking for details. We can analyze the statements. We can, and then comes we we understand the scope. We also, in fact, we create a project plan. So in the project plan, you have got how I will manage my scope, how I'll manage my schedule, how I will. So if you go back, it tells you the project plan has those components. How I will manage my scope means how I'll collect my requirements, how I'll write down my requirements, how I'll estimate my budget, how I'm going to monitor, how I'm going to estimate my time, how I'm going to monitor the schedule, how I'm going to get the resources, recruit the people, how I'm going to, get the equipment, how I'm going to manage my risks, how I'm going to manage my quality, and also not to forget how I'm going to keep my stakeholders and customers satisfied. Okay. This is a project plan you create. In the scope, when you are talking about scope, you will be collecting the requirements. Yeah. You will collect requirements. Collecting the requirements means what requires to be done in my hotel? What is like, I need a swimming pool, I need a Italian restaurant, I need a nice reception with some Italian chandelier maybe. Yeah. All the requirements in detail needs to be captured. This you can do using your different techniques like Delphi technique. Delphi technique means there are 3-4 experts, maybe not sitting in Dubai only. They may be sitting in all the parts of the world, maybe New York, London, Tokyo, Melbourne. And we tell them that you are participating in a Delphi technique. We are collecting the requirements. I'm trying to construct a hotel. What are the requirements of a hotel? And these people will give their inputs. You compile all their inputs, then send it back to them saying that we are using a Delphi technique. You're part of the whole exercise. And then they will, once they see the compilation of other experts as well, then they will give their opinion. Again, you collate all their opinions, again send it back to everyone. So this to and fro happens 2-3 times. And you get a very, very good set of requirements for a 5-star hotel, which would be very much elaborate. You can also use lessons learned from the previous, if you have constructed similar hotels in the past, you can even look into the lessons learned repository of your previous projects. You can also look at benchmarking, look at how others have done it. You can go into journals, you can ask the experts, consultants. These are all different requirements. Collect requirements. Then comes, once you have collected the requirements, you define the scope and make a scope statement. You make a scope statement. Scope statement means whatever work needs to be done during the whole project, it needs to be written down in detail. All the work. Well, it will be very difficult, if someone throws all the work at you, you will be confused, isn't it? So what you do, you break it down. Using decomposition method, you break the whole scope, all the work, into smaller components. Smaller components, smaller and smaller components. and keep breaking it down. We call it decomposition method. And similarly, you keep breaking it down, and finally, keep doing it till the time you get a package of work, small package of work, which we call it as work package. And this whole structure is known as WBS, work breakdown structure. So I've got a work package where I can assign fairly accurately the resources, budget, and schedule. So typically, let's take an example. Oh, there is an example given here. Let me show you that. So a scope statement might look something like that. It's not an elaborate scope statement, by the way. So all the details are given here. And finally, I can make a WBS, work breakdown structure. Work breakdown structure. Finally, I get work packages. Yeah. Get work packages. The last component will be, and another example here is also given, uploading an information system. So testing and evaluation becomes one work packages. And here what the number, this configuration system, 1.1, 1.1.4, 1.1.4.2, etc. This we call it as code of accounts. Code of accounts. These numbers are code of accounts. Means, we are allocating the budget to that work package so that it is a code for that account, for that work package. Yeah, we call it as code of accounts. So now we have created, we know the code of accounts, we have created the work packages, the deliverable at the lowest level of WBS, and the WBS contains all the activities. What WBS dictionary? So I will have a WBS dictionary. I'll have a WBS dictionary. WBS dictionary will contain all the activities which need to be performed in that work package. So let's say one of the scope is painting. And here it's like painting the boundary wall. Yeah. So painting the boundary wall. What would be the activities which we need to execute in that work package of painting the boundary wall? Yeah. So all the activities, list of activities and description of all the activities will be there in the WBS. I hope you are with me. See, I saw that 60-70% of you are doing this session for a first time. So I'm just starting from ground zero. Yeah. Although I can teach some advanced tools and techniques also. I promised you some advanced techniques also I will teach. Don't worry. We'll complicate the matters also after some time. But there are no complications. I see a lot of people have attended our black belt training. This PMP training is very easy as compared to black belts. I see some of you have also attended my data science programs. PMP is much easier. And if you are able to pass data science, all of you are able to pass 100% certification was our scorecard of black belt, right? So PMP is much simpler than that. I can guarantee that. By the way, a lot of tools and techniques which you studied in green belt and black belts, they are very much part of the quality module of PMP as well. Okay. Now, this was the scope. Now I have talked about the scope. Now, these activities, which are activities, I have to develop the schedule out of these activities. So I will now develop the schedule. Means develop the schedule. To develop the schedule, I'll have to estimate the activity duration, isn't it? Estimate activity duration. How much each activity will take. I hope you are able to visualize. Now we are in this work package. In the work package, there are multiple activities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And now I have to estimate how much, like if I'm talking about painting the wall. So first is like, I'll get the paint. Then I will start painting. Maybe I'll give instruction to the team members. And then I'll start painting the first wall, then the second wall, and third wall, and so on and so forth. So all the activities which are required to be executed in that work package are listed. And you fairly accurately know what will be the cost of that whole activities, or list of activities, so work package. Then I can also develop a schedule in the sense using a network diagram, like first activity to be started, the second two activities can be done in parallel. These two activities like this, after this, and something like this. Yeah. The sequence of the activities I can develop. And I'm talking about now one work package. Imagine multiple work packages. Now, how can you handle all these things? Earlier, 25 years ago, when we learned project management, and I was part of, I'm proud to tell you, in 1995, I was given the job of commissioning the polyethylene telephthalate plant of Indorama. I was not given the job, means I was a team member. I was young. I had a lot of hairs on my head and I was young. 90 to 95, I was part of the project team of Bharat Petroleum and then Oswal Petrochemicals. The projects which I completed during those tenures was one is ethylene column erection and commissioning. Then in 1995, polyethylene terephthalate plant of Indorama Ventures. In fact, Indorama Ventures is the biggest manufacturer of polyethylene terephthalate in the world. And I'm so happy to be part of that first project. Incidentally, that was in Thailand, I remember, in Lopburi, near Lopburi. I could see all these things happening. And those days, we had to have blueprint. So we would create those activities, network diagram, and the whole blueprint will run into like, maybe I exaggerating, but kilometers, all confusion. Nowadays, you have got all project management softwares, so you can handle all these things very easily. Now we have developed the schedule. Now I have to estimate my budget, isn't it? We have to estimate the budget also. So we will estimate the budget. Now, how much each activity is taking estimations. We can use bottoms-up approach. Bottoms-up approach means I estimate the budget at every level of work package and then take sum total of all the costs and get my project costs. Bottoms-up approach. Or I can use a top-down approach, means management can estimate, I think this hotel will take around $12 million, somewhere around this. That is also another way of estimating. So depends on the situation, what kinds of estimations you are going to do. So you estimate the budgets. Okay. Then also, you will learn, I don't know whether, I think we will have time. I will teach you one advanced technique here, earned value analysis. Using earned value analysis, I will first plan how I will be reporting my project progress in terms of schedule as well as budget. Okay. So maybe I'll take an example of maybe a network diagram and maybe earned value analysis, in detail. In a short while, I will talk about it. Should I talk about it right away or should I give you the bigger picture first? Your choice. Or I can take an exercise on network diagram right now and then earned value analysis also right now. And then we can proceed. What is your choice? Anyway, we are going to learn everything. What you want to learn first? I'm scheduling my activities. This is a work package, right? This training of 2 hours is a project. Yeah. I have broken down my project into smaller components. Right. Yeah. And I'm into an activity. Now I'm trying to schedule my activities. And I have to listen to the customers. In adaptive approach, you have to listen to the customer more often. There you use sprints, 2 weeks, 2 weeks duration. So you pull out the work. You have first collect all the requirements. In requirements in adaptive approach, in when I'm constructing a website, I call this as backlog. Okay. Instead of scope statement, here I will call it as, so I'll write maybe in green or maybe in which and some other color I will write. Yeah, maybe I'll write in green. Here I will write, we call it as backlog. Backlog means all the work needs to be completed as I construct my website. There I'm using adaptive approach. Backlog means all the work. And the backlog is always obtained in the form of stories. Story 1, story 2. See, in our scope statement, in our hotel, the scope statement would look like, get the Italian marble of this specification for the reception flooring. Yeah. This would be an example of a requirement captured in a scope statement. In a backlog, it is in the form of story. Now, don't think the story is like a long story. Story is just one sentence. In Agile, they've changed the definition of a story also. The story is just one sentence. It is in the form of, as a user, I want to do something. So I'll write it in the beginning. As a user, I want to do, accomplish something, an activity, so that I can get some value out of it. So an example would be, as a user, as a customer, as a client of the website, I want to create login ID and password so that I can access the website. Another story could be, this is one story. Another story would be, as a guest, I should be able to make a payment so that I can book a room for myself. So another story. Now the story is given to the team, and the team decides what are the tasks need to be accomplished. There's no planning. See, in our 5-star hotel, everything needs to be planned. The specifications of the tiles also need to be planned. But here, a story is thrown to the team. Who will throw the story to the team? The customer. Now, customer appoints one person called product owner. He acts like a customer. And the product owner will throw stories at the team. Throw means like, give, not throw. Like give stories. I want this. Now, they will create. See, they will create their own activity. They will not be planning the way in our hotel. We are planning all the activities. We are creating a work breakdown structure. We are creating, this activity schedule, all that. No. Not in Agile. Not in Agile. I'll tell you in detail. I'll talk about that in a short while. But for the timing, just wanted to tell you that equivalent. This is the equivalent of our the adaptive approach. See, adaptive approach also similar things you are doing, but in a different way. Okay. But let me first continue with our hotel, first 5-star hotel project, right? So you'll do an earned value analysis, and this is applicable to both, Agile as well as Agile or adaptive as well as predictive. Both type of approaches. So Vigneshwaran said we'll do an activity. Activity means we'll solve a problem. Okay, let us do that. No issues. So let us talk about how to do a network diagram very quickly. Let us solve a problem. Okay, before that, let me also talk a little bit more about how I'll be managing, how I'll be planning my schedule. So while you are planning your schedule, the activities, you can make a network diagram like this. It will have multiple paths. It will have multiple paths. The path with the longest duration will be called as critical path. Why? Because any delay on that critical path will delay the projects. But the delay on the other path, which is not a critical path, will not delay the project. It will always have a buffer, which we call it slack or float. Slack or float. These are the words. Generally, float is more popular, which is the buffer. So can you tell me which is the critical path here? There are three paths here, right? Start, A, B, C, and finish. Start, D, E, and finish. And start, F, and finish. Which one is the longest duration? Which one is the longest duration? And what is the duration? I think 15 weeks, right? 15 weeks is the longest duration. Path A, B, C, right? SA, start A, B, C. So this is the critical path. You can also use milestone charts, especially the senior management is more interested in this milestone charts. Let me this is a Gantt chart. This is an example of a Gantt chart. If you use project management softwares nowadays, you can list down all your tasks here, your activities or tasks here. So we have work package, and these are the activities or tasks. Activities or tasks, almost same thing. Work package 2, these are the tasks. And then we make bar charts representing the duration, and the sequence of those bar charts will also tell you what activity needs to be performed first and what activity needs to be performed. So we can use that. So let us try to solve a problem. And if you're fine, I can play this. In another program also I had, because you are asking for an activity, another program also had done this activity. If I can play that video, just give me 1 minute. Let me see. Actually, it's not there in my laptop, but I can pull out from our channel, YouTube channel, right? You want which way? In one example, I have done a very seriously, I've taught, and in one example, I have taught in a funny way. Which one you want? I can be serious. Today, I'm a little serious. But if you want the funny way, I can talk about it. Oh, one thing is also going on right now. Okay. So people are telling, let me take a vote. We are making in the projects, the team has to decide. Fun. Rashmi is telling fun. Okay. Okay. So let me talk about that. Okay. They come from various city. They would like to. Okay. Let me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The exam for sure. You can keep on attending our sessions again till the time you pass the exam. We ensure that you pass the exam. How come? How come you can fail? Okay, let us solve a problem. So here, let us do an exercise. So I have just, you're a project manager, and activity A, let's say approval of it. Let's say I'll take our whole 5-star hotel project, like approval is activity A, first activity. And it can start immediately, approval from the government authorities. Then comes design. Design can happen after the approval, because once we have got the approval, then only we'll start designing. We don't have to waste our time and money. What happened? It may happen that we are the hotel project doesn't get approved by the government. So we'll start design only after finishing approval. Construction can happen simultaneously. No, after the design. Sorry, yes. So after design comes construction. So construction can start after design is completed. Okay, and then recruitment. Because we have to commission the whole hotel project. I have to commission it as a running, ready to operate hotel. Mr. Imran should be happy. Shuvadeep should be happy. He wants a ready to run. Ready to mint money. Shuvadeep, Bill and I, they don't tolerate inefficiencies. Yes, Raj, beware. You are the project manager. Okay, so here, so recruitment can start simultaneously while you are designing, and so these are the activities. So let me take you through our. Let's see. Let us go to the whiteboard. Okay, so this is again a tip when you are constructing a diagram. Usually write start and finish. Yeah. The first activity was, I think, approval. I'll just write it activity A. It is taking, I think, three months. The next activity was, and simultaneously we can do two things. We can start recruiting the people also, plus we can also, I think it was design. Yes, so design is activity B. And activity C was recruitment. And after designing, we can construct. So that is activity D. And after this, we can, here is the commissioning. This is E. Commissioning means staff is recruited and we started functioning. And finish, we'll hand it over to Mr. Imran and Shuvadeep in a nice ceremony held in the same 5-star hotel. And then you'll relate to the story. 2 years back, this hotel was a playground, and then it was a dream, and then all stories, emotional stories. Lessons learned, that will become, while you're completing the project, you'll put your lessons learned with the PMO. Okay, so you're finishing, and then I forgot the duration, so let me see that. So A is 3 months, and B is 3, 6, and D is 8. So 3, 6, and 8, and 4. Okay, so let us put that. Okay, so this is 3, 6, and 8, and 4. So some of you are already expert, I could see, but those who are not, I'll tell them there are 2 paths, S, A, B, D, and E, and finish, right? So which is taking how much time? The 6 plus 14, 18 months. And the other path is how much? Start and A and C and E and finish. So it is taking how much time? 9 plus 4, 13, okay. 13 months. So obviously the critical path is, and whenever we get a critical path, normally you can highlight that this is the critical path. Yeah, the critical path. Then for each of those activities, we will create early start and early finish time. So every box, this is the box. This we say early start, early finish. Earliest I can finish, early start, early finish. Latest start and latest finish. Okay. So early start. I can start this activity A at 0 month, like right in the beginning, and it will finish by 3. Here, early start, I can start because 3, so I can start at 3. It takes 3 months. So 3 plus 3, 6 months I can finish, early finish. And earliest I can start this at 6, right? 6. And earliest I can finish by 6 plus 8 is how much it is? 14, okay. And then here I can, okay, before I move, let me finish this as well. So C I can start earliest at 3. And earliest I can finish, because 6 months it takes, so I can finish in 9 months. Okay. Now E. When can I start? Earliest when can I start? Can you tell me? Earliest when can I start? Activity E. So many of you are saying, some are saying 9, some are saying 14. So those who are saying 9, I'd like to tell you them, you cannot start E unless you finish both D and C. Both D and C, right? Both D and C. So you cannot start at 9. You have to start at 14. And earliest finish can be 18. Okay, we call it as forward pass. So when I'm looking at this, and when I'm looking at early start, early finish filling, I say forward pass. Forward pass means I move from left to right, from here to here, right? Now let us do backward pass. Backward pass, I will fill these things. Late start, late finish. Okay? So late finish, so you start from E then. 18 here, and this can be 14. Okay, very good. Now, late finish for activity D is 14 only. Late finish for activity C. Tell me, late finish for activity C, how much? Late finish for activity C. Let's see, right answer will get you $1,000. Let us see who has given the right. A lot of people have given right answer, but fastest finger first was Ibrahim. Okay, so Ibrahim, yes, you're right. 14. Yes, 14 minus 6. Here becomes what? Yes. 8. Okay, very good. And let us look at now activity 3. Activity A. Latest you can finish by when? Oh, before that, let me finish D also. So D becomes here 6. Okay, this also 6, and this also 3. Now, activity A. See, whenever there are 2 branches. See, branches, 2 branches going from A to B and C. Be careful here. Similarly, we were very careful here also at E. 2 branches coming to E. Very, very careful. When there is no branch, don't worry. It's very easy. So here, yes, as you rightly said, this is 3 and this is 0. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. Well, there is no time to explain all the reasoning behind these, whatever I have done, but you can watch this again. The recording will be sent to you. It will be available on YouTube. A lot of other recordings of detailed tools and techniques. I have explained detailed things. A lot of quality tools I have explained. Those who are interested in other programs, CPHQ or Lean Six Sigma, Yellow Belt, Green Belt, all are freely available on my Anexas YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and Anexas channel. You can subscribe. It's totally free of cost. You can have a look at those tools and techniques being described by me. Sometimes I'm having a beard also. During lockdown, I grew a beard. So, you may see a different person talking, but in the same voice. So you can have a look. You can just subscribe to that Anexas YouTube channel and learn a lot of tools and techniques. So in that, I have explained and very, very nicely, slowly. I have taken 2-3 examples. But here, very quickly, let us move on to the next one. Very good, absolutely fantastic. So this is how we do the
No. Before that. Yes. One more thing. You cannot delay anything on A, B, D, and E, but can you delay on C? Is some float available there? Is some float available? Yeah, yes, a lot of people are writing. Raj, the project manager, says yes. So we call it a float, 14 minus 9. How much is the float available? We call it slag, float. How much we can float around? Five months. We can float around 5 months. We can relax. In recruitment, we can relax. Anyway, HR people, I say, they're always relaxed. Sorry. Just joking. So the recruitment team can relax a little bit only for 5 months. We call it as float, slack, okay? Anyway, and we have got some project float also sometimes, like it is taking 18 months, right? But we have committed 2 years, 18, so 24 months. So we are finishing our hotel in 18 months, but we have committed to Mr. Imran and Mr. Shovadeep for 24. So we have a project float also. We call it project float. Yeah. How much project float is available? How much is the project float available? 6 months. Wow, Kumara, you are great. Adil, wow. You're already expert. Why you are here? You already appears to be all certified PMP. I think PMI has sent to you to audit me. Am I conducting the training program correctly? Okay, very nice. Good. So many of you are already aware of these concepts. Okay, others who are not, don't worry. Just takes a little time to understand, but it's very, very easy. All these things are very easy. This is considered to be very tough topic, by the way. What you just did, this is considered very tough. People fail. They say fail. We fail in PMI. I don't understand why they fail. I don't understand. Really, I don't understand why they fail. They should learn from us. That is why we keep giving it. Okay. Another cost management, very difficult topic. Let me teach you some cost management techniques. Very, very difficult. They say earned value analysis. Earned value analysis. What is earned value analysis? What is EV? So when you are sorry. Before that, let us not forget. I was giving you a tip, and the tip myself I forget. How can I blame others? So keep looking at this. Right? So we have now beautifully captured the WBS and then created the activities, defined the activities, very detailed, sequenced the activities, estimate activity duration. We estimate the activity duration again from experts, from the previous projects, lessons learned, Delphi technique, brainstorming, and almost every time you have got organizational, there are other factors also. I'll not go into those details, but you have to take inputs from policies and procedures of the organization, the culture of the organization, a lot of resources are available in the organization, facilities are there, infrastructure. You have to take consider all these things, and they become inputs to all those processes. By the way, these these numbers are referring to the relevant chapter of PMBOK 4.1. So if you want to develop project charter, read about it, go to 4.1 chapter of PMBOK. 5.1 plan scope management, that's what it's referring to. So here, coming back. So now we manage the schedule, we estimated the activity duration, developed the schedule, and while we're developing, while we are executing, we are also controlling. Mr. Project Manager, you told that this design will take 3 months. Is it on time? Well, in design also there are different work packages, work activities. All these activities have been sequenced, and everything is now taken care of by softwares. I remember in 1993 when I was commissioning EPDM rubber manufacturing plant, ethylene propylene dyeing rubber. We used to make where is the word? PPT. Yes, hidden. Yes. So let's imagine we are constructing a boundary wall. And there are 4 walls. Each wall you are given 1 day time, and each wall budget is $1,000. Okay, just remember. Now you are the project manager. You go to the site on the 3rd day, completion of 3rd day, and you see something. You take the report, and now you have to report to Mr. Imran, our sponsor, our Mr. Suvadi. Say what's happening, what's going on. Now these guys are all high class PMP guys,
They don't tell you, sir, behind schedule, not working. They don't like. They're earned a value. They talk in terms of value analysis. Earned value. Tell me schedule variance. Tell me SPI. Tell me CPI. That's how they ask. And you are like looking at them. What's wrong with them? I'm telling you, we are behind schedule by half a day, 2 days. They don't talk in these languages. Professional guys. Let us learn their language, right? So let's take this example. So if I take this example, where are we? Where is my notebook? Yes. Yes. So this is the wall, boundary wall. Oh, sorry, I'm not able to keep the line straight, but it's okay, I think. You'll excuse me for that. So this will take 1 day. This will take 1 day. This will take 1 day. And this will take 1 day. And budget is $1,000 and $1,000 and $1,000 and $1,000. Okay. And let's say we are on the 3rd day. Okay, so we are reporting, so this wall is completed, let's say. This wall is completed. Then this wall is also completed. And the 3rd wall, oh no, completed only half. As per the problem which is given here, completed, first wall completed, spent 1,000. Second wall completed, but spent 1,200, we'll come to that. Half done, only 50% completed. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay. Now, in terms of, first, let us look at what is the planned value. What is the planned value? What we had planned at the end of the 3rd day. We had planned 1,000. Second day, 1,000. This was our planned value. We planned how much? $3,000. But how much we actually did or earned, how much value was earned by our project team. 1,000 they earned, yes. Mr. Imran will pay you then 1,000. You completed one. This also, I will pay you 1,000. Well, oh, Mr. Imran and Mr. Subhadeep are not going to pay you 1,000. They are going to pay you only 500. Earned value for your project team is only 2,500 at the end of 3rd day. So, as a project manager, Raj will call Mr. Imran. Sir, now, let me tell you, you are behind schedule or on schedule in this case. Obviously, there is a schedule variance, yes. How much? You are supposed to do 3,000, but you did 2,500. So you are behind schedule by $500 worth work. We call it as schedule variance. Okay, schedule variance. And schedule performance index. Well, how are you performing in terms of schedule? SPI, schedule performance index is you are completing only 2,500 instead of 3,000, which is approximately, let me tell you how much it is. Everything is solved, Don't have to worry too much. Where is it? 2,000 divided by 2,000 divided by 0.833. 0.833. 0.833. Okay. We are looking at 0.833. You are not at 100% schedule, only 83%. That is what Mr. Raj will report. My performance in terms of time is 83%. Okay. And if you continue to operate in this way, will you complete in 4 days? No. No way. Divide that by 0.833 and you will get, it will be more than 4, whatever it is, the number I'm not going to calculate, but that will be your estimated duration now. Because you are at 83% performance in terms of schedule. So sorry to say that. You're never in time. Project managers, you're never in time. Okay, it doesn't matter. It happens. Everyone, no one is on time. Don't worry. Now coming to the cost. How well are you managing the cost? So we'll actual cost. $1,000. Well, second day you spent $1,200. Oh no, not good. Third day you should have spent 500 only because 500 worth was completed, but you spent 600 as per the how much? $600. Yes, and 50% complete. So 600, half done. Yes. Then you are at how much is the actual cost? 2,800. You accomplished only 2,500 worth of work, and you spent 2,800. Definitely, your cost. You are not really doing good job, my dear friend, Mr. Raj. Really need to improve. Okay, okay. So here, how much? It is 2,500 minus 2,800. How much is minus 300 over budget? And cost performance index in terms of efficiency. How much is the index? 2,500 divided by 2,800. Oh, whatever it is, okay, 0.893. 0.893. 89% you're operating. Well, Mr. Raj, you need to grow. If you continue to operate like that, you will not finish the job in $4,000, my friend. You will finish the job in 4,000 divided by 0.89. 4,479 additional estimate to complete. Additional variance at completion will be $479 in addition. So this is how you do the earned value analysis. Okay. By the way, this is considered a very difficult topic, but we have seen that it's not that difficult. No. Life is easy. Don't fail in PMI. That's the worst thing to happen. How can you fail, my dear friend? How can you fail? No way, can't fail. Okay, then comes the...
Because I just played for you that to problem solving. Now let me talk a little bit of agile. So some of you who are from IT, they might be aware of the basics of agile, but many of you who are not from IT, they may be totally unaware of agile. So let me talk about what is agile. Yeah. Would you like to? Yeah, there are two options now. We have got around 20 minutes left. So you would like me to talk about agile, or you would like to give me an introduction? We will continue the predictive approach, and agile maybe some other time. Your choice. Let me ask you. Would you like to get introduced to agile, or you would like to continue with the predictive approach? Oh, continue with the predictive. Many of you are telling continue. First, agile needs good time. No. Agile doesn't need good. Okay, what I will do, I'll do to get introduced to agile. I will give you a video. You watch that video. In half an hour, you'll get full everything about agile. I can't say you'll master agile, but you will get like 50% knowledge of agile. Okay. Okay, so that I will do. Right. So in that case, let us continue the predictive approach. Let's continue with our 5-star hotel. And our project, there one more project going on, right? Website. So, So agile, that video, Naveen, if you can just put that agile video, introduction to agile, I think we have put it in our YouTube. I think so, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's put it there, so introduction to agile, you can watch it. You can watch it. But let me continue with our now. What was the next one? The next one was We have to think about the quality also. We have to maintain quality, isn't it? We have to maintain the quality. So I have to maintain the quality. And when you are maintaining the quality, you have to use different tools and techniques. You have to have your inspections and checks, whether you're delivering as per the customer's KPIs or not. You should know the tolerances. Customer is able to tolerate a little bit of inefficiency, but not too much. And the deviations from the specifications. And every project will have quality issues. And sometimes nothing, but at least the delay will happen. Let's imagine that the project manager is facing procurement delays. How will you solve the problem? So using some quality tools and techniques. So these quality tools and techniques are very much part of your PMI syllabus. Now, there's not much time to talk about, all the tools and techniques in detail. So what I'll do, I'll show you some of the tools. I'll just demonstrate the tools. If you want to learn about the tools in detail, I'll recommend you join my yellow belt session. In the yellow belt, I conduct a 2.5 hour of yellow belt sessions free of cost again. If you are impatient, you can even see the recording. Recording is available on our channel, but strongly recommended you watch that 2 hour, I think 2.5 hour recording of yellow belt, Lean Six Sigma yellow belt training. It contains all the details of the tools. I have explained the control chart in really very much detail, and the concept of control chart also, the histogram, the normal distribution, etc. But today, due to the shortage of time, I'll just give you the demonstration of how we can use quality tools. So let's imagine that our project is having difficulties of our procurement is delayed. Now what I will do, I'll collect the data first. I'll collect the data. And let's say I collect the data. And these are the procurement, days, number of days to procure some material, critical material, construction material maybe. It could be cement, it could be steel, it could be anything. And historically, I take around 120 days, 3 to 4 months to procure, which is too high. It will delay my project, isn't it? So one of the tools to analyze the data is histogram. Histogram means, now I'm just using a tool here to explain because the shortage of time, I can't keep on explaining each and everything. But if you just make a histogram of your cycle time, it will tell you that on an average is 124, and the standard deviation of your procurement time is somewhere around 2.85. Those who are totally not aware of this, the standard deviation, I can give a very brief overview about it. See, most of the processes in the universe, they follow this bell-shaped distribution, or also called as normal distribution. Normal because it is normal to obtain a normal distribution. Mr. Carl Friedrich Gauss, Mr. Gauss, he found this in 17th or 18th century, that all the repetitive processes, they follow normal distribution. And he also found one interesting thing, that if you collect just 20, maybe 30 samples from any population, any process, just collect 30 samples. If you get an average, and you'll always get an average and the standard deviation, the way we got here. 120 is the average, and standard deviation, I forgot how much it is, but let's imagine 10 it is. Yeah. So he said that within plus minus 3 times the standard deviation, would lie 99% of the total population. So, for example, if I take an example of procurements done in my project previously, the way my team has been operating for the last few months or few years, my average is 120 and standard deviation is 10. So I can predict that my overall, all the projects, the way I operate in my projects, in my organization is, this is 1 time standard deviation will become 120 plus 10. This is 130. And this will become 140 and this will become 145. I hope this is correct. Yeah. And this will become 110, this will become 100, and this will become 90. Yeah. So I can predict, and we call this as a control chart. Lower control limit means here of my procurement process is 90 days, and upper control limit of my procurement process is 145 days. So most of my procurements are taking place within this. And this thing we call it as control chart. Lower control limit is minus 3 times standard deviation, and upper control limit is plus 3 times the standard deviation. And it just shows, control chart just shows that this is the way you operate. It doesn't tell you that it's a good process, it's satisfying the customer. It doesn't tell you anything. It just tells you whether the process is stable or not. Suppose you are going somewhere here, sometimes here, that means you are unpredictable. If your process is under control, means you are predictable. I can predict your performance. Okay. So you see whether the process is stable or not. So these are histogram, control charts. These are all tools used in project management. I'm just giving you very, very brief overview. Now you are here to solve the problem. So you can use a cause and effect diagram. There's a technique called cause and effect diagram, where you brainstorm on all the possible causes. See, brainstorming is a very powerful technique used in project management. Yeah. So one of the ways to first brainstorm on the possible causes is using 6M technique: measure, method, man, machine, material, environment, measurement. Imagine, brainstorm on all the causes related to these categories. And you will find that possibly you will get some of the root causes in this cause and effect diagram. And the cause and effect diagram is very easy to make. Nowadays, everything is automated. So this is a cause and effect diagram. You can make it manually also, but these are all the possible causes. But not everything will be impacting. So one gentleman called Vilfredo Pareto, who was an Italian economist, who found that 80% of the wealth in Italy was with 20% of the people. 80% of the money was with 20% of the people. 80-20 rule he called. Then he realized this is true everywhere. And Joseph Juran, he applied this to quality, and he said 80% of our problems, whatever problems we are trying to solve, is due to 20% of the causes. So we have listed, let's say here, 20 causes. 20% of 20 is 4. So only 4 causes will be responsible. Which are those 4 causes? You collect the data. So here we collected the data, how many times every cause is occurring. And you can do a Pareto chart. Pareto chart will quickly list down. It will count how many times each reason is occurring. So delivery delay, vendor selection delay, lack of clarity of specifications, and approval delay. These are the 3-4 topmost causes, which are occurring most of the time. They are contributing to 80% of your problems. Yeah. This is the cumulative line, means first cause plus second cause is, the numbers are also given here. 12 is the count, and percentage wise 27% of total causes. First 2 together is 27 plus 22 is 49. Okay. And so on and so forth. Why it is 145? 3 sigma is 150. Some people are asking questions. Okay. Oh, I did not see that. Okay, let me see why it is 145. It is plus 3 times standard deviation. How much is the standard deviation? Average is how much? 120. Oh, sorry, 150. Oh, it is 150. You are right. Oh, you're so sorry. Oh, I was just checking whether you're sleeping or not. Okay, thank you. It is 150. 150. Absolutely right. Well, I'm sleeping. Okay, that was a test. You're right. It is 150. Absolutely right. Thanks for that. Who was the person who told? Shobita. Oh, you are awake. Great. Just now, see, during the day, I conducted a session where actually the standard deviation I had taken was 5. So I just, extrapolated that here. So you're right. So this is 150. So this will upper control limit is 150. So this is how your process is behaving, basically. And process is under control means this is the way our processes, this is our way our procurement processes. And the whole objective of our improvement is to, change the control limits to maybe 60 to 90 with a new average and new standard deviation. Okay. So this is how you would interpret the process in terms of the control charts. So I just showed you some of the tools which you can use to improve your quality in your project. And that's how, the overview of the project management. And so there's some jumbo offer going on. Means if you join our PMP as well as green belt, black belt, and master black belt training sessions, you can save a lot of money. So if you are interested in getting that offer, you can even tell us. Otherwise, if you just want to join a PMP project management sessions, why not? Go ahead with it. So Shiv Shankar is already taking training from us. Okay. Special welcome to you. Okay, thanks a lot. So tomorrow is your session. Okay, great. Now, let me show you the fees. So some of the things you are getting it from accredited training company. So if you are tense, our assessment of Anexas by PMI is very, very high. They have considered as one of the top 2 percentile. We like if this was a score, and we belong to top 2 percentile. The percentile means if there are 200 institutes, if you divide them into 100 tiles, so we are in the top 2. The top 2 percentile, around top 4 institutes in the world, which we are already proud to tell you that. We are all PMI approved instructors, and of course, if you are joining PMP course, you will be joining with me. And we have got the seal, etc., official seal of PMI, and just to tell you that you would be able to pass the PMP examination for sure in first attempt. So the first is study the PMI developed and approved content, which we will be giving you, we'll be providing it to you. That's it, nothing else. Solve the cloned questions of PMI, which we will be giving it to you, and write our 2 mock exams. In fact, we will be giving you 10 mock exams. You can choose any 2 at random. That's good enough. And if you want more, you can, of course, go ahead with that. And we guarantee, or we should not use the word guarantee, to be very honest, yeah, but we will tell you that your probability of success would be very, very high. Officially, we can't say guarantee, we can't use the word guarantee, but as per PMI. So we can tell you that the probability of success is very high, that I can assure you. And a lot of people have attended. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you can follow me on LinkedIn, and you can connect with me as well. And you will find every second or third day or fourth day, I'll post something, some relevant material. Plus, sometimes people publish their own PMI certificates received from PMI, PMP certificates, and they give a lot of credentials to us. So every third or fourth day, we keep seeing 1 or 2 our students getting certified from PMI as PMP, and we have got more than thousands of students. We have lost the count. Actually, last time we counted was 1,733 students. I am sure numbers have increased by now. So thousands of students have got trained, and they have got the certificate as well. So join us. On that note, I would like to invite you to attend my project management training. And if you are interested, just click on this link, which is given here. Plus, I will leave you with some of the videos. So some of the videos, if you can show Naveen, how long it takes. Okay, let me answer this question. How long does it take? So typically, the training will complete in around 1 month, 1 or 1.5 months. After that, at least 2 months you should study. Now I'm telling some people just take leave for 5-6 days and they study all the whole training material in just 5-6 days and then appear for the exam and pass the examination. But in general, I'm talking about most of the cases. They generally take 2 to 3 months to study. Whatever we teach in classroom, you have to study also. Just a self-study. Self-study is important. And we guide you that time as well. Once you complete that, after that, you appear for the exam and you will pass. So this is what is the project roadmap. Another thing is one more tip, which we give in when you attend our session. We also tell you how to visualize your success. And what are some of the tricks or tips which we share in our normal training sessions, which will make you pass the examination with very, very high probability. Now, we can't assign a number, but it's definitely above 90%, 90-95%. So our success rate is very, very high. And any other questions you have? You have already registered and doing exam next month on schedule in Dubai. Okay, great. Okay, fine. You're already doing it. That's great. Okay, so you're already appearing for the PMP examination in July. That's great. Yeah. Okay, any other questions you have? Does PMP require yearly recertification? No. Like CPHQ? No, CPHQ also doesn't require yearly. It requires, I think, biannual, like 2 yearly. PMP requires 3 years, every 3 years. But it's very easy. You can attend our courses, and that also gives you the PMP dues. So you can retain your certificate every 3 years, not to worry. Once you become our student, you can attend that course any number of times in the next 5-10 years. Yeah. So once you are our student, you can repeat the course any number of times. Any other questions? Okay, great. So let us see some videos related to project management. Okay, let me talk about conflict management. One more thing. Conflict management is one topic of PMI. Let me show a video on conflict management. In fact, this video will tell you it's almost everything about conflict management. The whole conflict management chapter has been covered in this video. So let us have a look at it.
We humans have a very strange quality. You can call it self. Humans have a very strange.
Sorry. Oh. Okay. You're okay.
Quality. You can call it self-respect, ego, pride, or the will to prove oneself right. This can be a common cause for a rise in conflicts. In an organization where there are many people working together, where some actions affect others, conflicts can occur more than frequently. And this is why conflict management is an extremely important subject to understand so that harmony can be maintained in the company at all times. Let me ask you a question first. Are conflicts good or bad? Well, some of you may say, how can conflict be good? Over the period of time, views on conflicts have changed. It was an old view that conflict is dysfunctional and caused by personality differences or a failure of leadership. Conflict is to be avoided, or conflict is resolved by physical separation or the intervention of upper management. Well, that was an old view. The new view is conflict is inevitable consequence of organizational interactions. Conflicts can be beneficial. Conflicts is resolved through identifying the causes and problem solving by people involved and their immediate manager. They can also be solved by referring to ground rules framed in the team charter, which was created at the beginning when the team started working together. Let us first understand what are the different types of conflicts. Conflicts can be divided into three main categories: task conflicts, relationship conflicts, and value conflicts. The task conflicts often involves issues related to an employee's work assignments and can include disputes about how to divide the tasks or resources, and also it can include different opinions about the work. Of the three conflicts, task conflict may appear to be the simplest to resolve. However, task conflicts often are more complex than they appear to be and need to be handled carefully. Some of the sources of conflicts are schedules. Someone told you that he will finish the work in 10 days and he didn't. This will result in a conflict. If you see carefully, your team or organization will benefit from this conflict because you are questioning the inefficiency. Priorities. Different people have different priorities. Maybe work that is important for the organization or a project in your opinion is not as important for someone else. Resources. We have limited resources. Two people might compete for the resources. Hey, I need that IT guy for 2 weeks. The other person says, sorry, he's not available. There's a conflict. Technical opinions. Technical opinions might be different, which might lead to conflicts. It is always good to explore all the possibilities in interest of the organization, and such conflicts can be good. Administrative procedures. People might not understand administrative procedures and might argue about it. Cost. Someone promised you that he will complete a job within the budget of $5,000, but now there is a cost overrun. Questioning would lead to conflicts, but would benefit the project or the organization. That was about task-related conflicts. Let us now look at relationship conflicts. This type of conflict arises due to differences in lifestyle, opinions, personality, and thoughts. In an organization, people with a vast range of lifestyles need to work together to reach certain goals. These people might not have common viewpoints or opinions, but still need to work in unison. It is obviously no surprise that relationship conflicts can be common in organizations. Value conflicts. This type of conflict arises from fundamental differences in identities and values. For example, differences in political, regional, and ethical thoughts or other deeply held beliefs. These types of conflicts can be difficult to resolve. But as they say, nothing is impossible. So let's see some of the conflict management strategies. Well, there are many different types of conflict management strategies, but I'm going to discuss the 5 major strategies. Before beginning, you must note one thing. Each strategy has its own benefits. There is no right or wrong conflict management style. As long as the style works for you, it can be called as perfect conflict management strategy. The first strategy is problem solving. Here, you confront the problem and solve it by identifying the root cause. For example, to resolve a conflict with a colleague in a project, you might say, well, it seems that the real problem here is not lack of communication, but lack of knowledge of what needs to be done and when. Here is a copy of the project schedule. It should let you understand what you need to know. The next strategy is collaborating. Collaborating involves a combination of being assertive and cooperative. Using this strategy, both sides can get what they want and negative feelings can be minimized. This strategy gives best results when long-term relationships and outcomes are more important. For example, if 2 people want to lead the same project, you can divide the project into 2, and then you can divide the responsibilities into 2 and ask each of them to lead their respective teams while collaborating. This is a win-win solution. The next strategy is competing. It involves a combination of being assertive and uncooperative, when one aims to pursue their own concerns at another person's expense. This strategy can be used when you don't care about the relationship, but the outcome is more important. We can call it as a win-lose strategy. Like when we play a game, the focus is on winning. For example, when you wish to compete with another company for a new client, this strategy can be used. However, don't use the strategy in your own organization, as the strategy does not help build relationships. Yet another strategy is avoiding. Avoiding involves a combination of being unassertive and uncooperative. You can diplomatically step aside from an issue or withdraw from a threatening situation. This strategy should be used when you don't wish to immediately solve an issue but want to wait for the right time to solve the conflicts. The next strategy is accommodating. Accommodating is the opposite of competing strategy. There is an element of self-sacrifice here. Now, this may seem generous, but it could take advantage of the weak and cause resentment. This strategy can be used when you don't really care about the outcome, but want to preserve the relationship. Maybe this relationship will give you long-term benefits. The next strategy, compromising. It aims to find a convenient and mutually acceptable solution that satisfies both parties to some extent. This strategy involves a combination of being a little assertive and a little cooperative. This strategy can be used when the outcome is not very important and you do not have enough time in hand. For example, to resolve a conflict between 2 persons, you can say, let us do a little bit of what both of you suggest. And the last strategy is forcing. It is about pushing one viewpoint at the expense of another. Do it my way, or sometimes, as many people say, my way or highway. The bosses often use this. As I said earlier, it's not that one strategy is better than the other. It depends on the situation. But in my opinion, problem solving that means confronting a problem by solving its root cause is the best one, if that is a possibility. Conflicts can be a part and parcel of your daily work, and this is why you should not be afraid when conflicts arise. There are things you can do, such as becoming more skilled and qualified in managing the conflicts. I hope this video helped you. For more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel.
Happy learning! Thanks for taking out time to watch this video. To learn more, check out our other videos. Link is given in the description below. So
If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are on the path to becoming a great leader. In this generation where technology has become so advanced that it is available to everyone, the only competitive edge a company can get is by improving its leadership. How important a good leader is can be explained using the examples of many companies that rose to skyrocketing heights because they had great leaders. According to Forbes, companies like General Electric, Procter & Gamble, Intel, Siemens, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, ABB, Microsoft, Walmart, etc. are good examples of companies for great leadership. Now the question arises, how does leadership influence organizational culture? I'm sure all of you have asked this question to yourself at least once. Just how a parent shapes the characteristics of a child, or just how a teacher builds the foundation for her students, a good leader sets the benchmark for the company and its people. With good leadership, a company can grow and achieve its goals, at the same time create a healthy environment for its employees, thereby improving employee efficiency. A team can grow only up to the level of its leader. It cannot go beyond it. So the level of the leader decides the performance of the team. We now know that leadership is important. So how do we inculcate good leadership practices? Let me tell you about John Maxwell's 5 levels of leadership. The first level is position. This is the lowest level of leadership. As one can say, it's the entry level of the leadership. The position is the only level that requires no effort to achieve. One can simply be appointed at a leadership position. Now there is nothing wrong with having the leadership position. However, relying only on this position to get people to follow you will not take you far. Position does not directly result in influence. You should use this level as a place to invest in your growth as a leader. This time can be used to learn to lead yourself through priorities and self-discipline. Level 2 is permission, which is based on relationships. Here the people choose to follow you because they want to and not simply because they have to. In simple terms, at this level, people give you the permission to lead them. If you want to grow at this level, you will need to learn to know the people you are leading and connect with them. If you treat your people as individuals who have their own values and beliefs, you begin to develop a positive relationship with them. Trust grows, mutual respect increases, and the work environment becomes positive and happy to work in. This is the level where solid, lasting relationships are built that create the foundation for the next level. Level 3 is production. In life, there will be times when people hit rock bottom and they feel there is no way out. This is when true leadership comes to rescue. Great leaders know how to motivate people. Getting things done is what level 3 is all about. To build influence and credibility, results must be visible. If you want people to follow you, not only because of your relationship with them, but also because of your credibility, then you must give them something to prove your worth. This is the level where leaders can become change agents. The more output you give, the more you will be able to tackle tough problems. Work becomes fun as everyone is moving together and the team rises to another level of effectiveness. Level 4 is people development. To sum up level 4 in one word, it can be called the reproduction level. A great leader is not someone who rises on the top alone. A great leader is someone who produces more great leaders. Your goal at this level is to identify and develop as many leaders as you can by investing time and effort and helping them grow. When there are more great leaders, the organization will accomplish more. By doing this, you are giving your people another reason to follow you. When they see what you have done for your team members personally, respect, trust, and admiration increases. And level 5 is pinnacle. This is the highest level of leadership, which also makes it most difficult to attain. You simply cannot reach level 5 unless you are willing to invest your life into the lives of others. But if you stick with it, you may find yourself at the pinnacle. Level 5 leaders develop level 5 organizations. They aim to create opportunities that other leaders don't. They create a legacy in what they do. People follow them because of who they are and what they represent. As a result, level 5 leaders often transcend their position and even their organization. One thing you must note here is the goal of John Maxwell's 5 levels of leadership is not to advance from one level to another, but it is to build upon each level. I would like to end with a very famous quote by John Maxwell. Leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. Stay happy and keep learning.
Happy learning. Thanks for taking out time to watch this.
Tip number 1. Instead of studying too many books, study selectively using Pareto's 80-20 principle. Make sure you get the best guidance before you appear for the exam on what to study. For example, I provide my participants with the PMI developed content which is more than enough for studying. Tip number 2. Set targets. Try to appear for the exam within 2 to 3 months of completing the 35 contact hours training. Don't start preparing without any target. Keep a goal and work towards it every day. Total of another 25 hours to 35 hours on chosen topic after your 35 hours of contact training is good enough. Tip number 3. In the training program, ask a lot of questions. The implementation of PMP training is quite different in theory and practical. Understand the concept from a practical implementation point of view. Tip number 4. Take online PMP mock exams. They aim to replicate the exam environment so you become comfortable with the timing and the pressure. Tip number 5. Participate in discussions and study groups. Teaching makes you a better learner. Discuss the concepts and clarify your queries as you get them. Anexas PMP trainings incorporate all of these tips. We give you the PMI developed content as we are an authorized ATP. Just study that. Appear for mock exams and join our study groups for free after completing your trainings with us. Our classes are interactive and I will answer all your questions giving relevant examples. We even do 2 virtual projects. So join us today. If you are not doing project management training with me, then you are missing out on something.